program is the Afia Monitor, and good morning once again. Welcome to a brand new week of broadcast, a really exciting week ahead as we delve into transportation, which is our major lead this week. Ujoatumba is here. Oji, good morning and happy Monday.
Good morning, happy Monday. How was your weekend?
It was fantastically great.
Sounds awesome.
Yes, it does. I mean, that's what great stands for.
Okay, great. Welcome.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. What else do you want to hear?
Fantastically awkward. Of course, we're not here by ourselves. We do have Barrister Chidi Ujoatumba, human rights lawyer, CEO of Ujoatumba Company. Barrister Chidi, good morning.
Good morning, Natalie and Mr. Oji.
Mr. Oji.
Week.
It's good to start the week again.
I know.
Seventh, and...
Seventh. Yesterday was 7th. Today is 7th. Yes. So the next 7 days is my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm putting you on notice.
Thank you for helping us. Because I don't know whether Oji thought it was 2027 already. Because he was waiting 7/7, then he said, tongues. The tongue now still wagging. But what is this thing about tongues are wagging in society? You just see a big maybe post on social media, maybe Wike and something, tongues are wagging in Nigeria. What does that actually mean?
It's a narrative, is the conversation that is on the burner, you understand? When something is on the chessboard or when something is topical, you understand? It's a talking point. So it makes a whole lot of tongues to wag.
But why? Like, what does a wagging tongue look like? I try to picture it, like maybe you go to a room and everybody's tongue is just wagging. Because something has happened.
Something has happened.
You know, a lot of Afia correspondents decided to start wagging in every report. So, you know, tongues are wagging in Nigeria. I said, what on earth, John Kennedy? What on earth do you mean by tongues are wagging? But let's leave it at that. I mean, tongues cannot always wag, right? Let's look at some headlines this morning, see what tongues are wagging about, beginning with The Guardian. Oil theft eases despite $25.7 billion losses in 23 years as operators turn to barges. More Nigerians losing faith in Tinubu government, public institutions, poll reveals. Tariff hike shows new phone lines activation as operators get ultimatum. NLC warns against removal of labor issues from exclusive legislative list. Tinubu orders security agencies to crush bandits, separatists, others. Catholic group advocates electoral reform before 2027. Obi affirms 2027 presidential bid as Wike bets against his ambition, I beg your pardon. Police warn Ogun Ondo residents against the 777 called celebrations. I guess this is where Oji is jumping in from. Senate awaits certified true copy of Natasha's reinstatement order. 10 states borrow 417 billion naira despite higher allocations. Rivers, Taraba top debt surge as 10 states account for 34% of subnational domestic debt. Nigeria's unity under attack from terrorists, separatists, Tinubu remarks. 2027 coalition crisis brews as ADC chairman set terms for alliance. Recapitalization, 5 banks hit CBN target ahead of deadline. Straight to Nigerian News Direct. 2027, Coalition of Hunger, Not Rescue. Wike blasts Obi, Atiku, Aregbesola, other ADC leaders. Accuses coalition leaders of selfish politics, failed leadership legacies. Says Peter Obi's time has passed. Labour Party coalition with ADC, not anti-party, says Obi. NDDC holds 25th anniversary Thanksgiving as Governor Ayedatiwa lauds achievements. NDLEA uncovers cocaine in lipsticks, seizes $17.7 million fake travelers' checks. 2 years after Oni, Minister Idris Omotosho, others hail News Direct founder at Remembrance Book Launch. Senate stalls action on Senator Natasha's recall, awaits certified judgment. On to Salient Times. Nigerians' trust in Tinubu's government, NAS judiciary very low. This is according to a survey. We're removing barriers to improve Nigeria's food agric production, Tinubu says. Why investors are pouring money into Nigeria again? Ishekiri demand worries states not Toru Ebe as proposed. Dangote refinery shows government has no business doing business, according to the MAN DG. 36-year-old suspect intercepted on his way to deliver foodstuff drugs to bandits in Kwara community. NDDC trained Niger Delta youths with technical skills. Natasha were yet to receive certified true copy of judgment. The Senate says killings, Tinubu orders military to confront terrorist bandits. And finally, here for me on Daily Trust, Obi insists on 2027 contest as Atiku hints at running. Federal government puts presidential jet on sale in Switzerland. Leaked documents how FCTA worker was queried, arrested, detained. Millions of Nigerians in multi-dimensional poverty, according to NLC. 39 killed in Kano, Lagos, Ogun Road crashes. Boko Haram kills 9, injures 4 in Borno. Federal government finds multi-choice 766.2 million naira for violating Data Protection Act. Finally here, Nigeria cruise to 3-0 over Tunisia at WAFCON.
Okay, starting from this day. 2027 presidency in panic mode. ADC coalition alleges. Insists president not governing Nigeria. Obi declares he won't buy 150 billion naira jets when people are dying. Zulum dismisses defection rumors, affirms loyalty to APC. Ex-police minister, other PDP members move to ADC in large number. LP collapses structure into coalition. South-South groups trade tackles over support for ADC. World Bank, Nigeria stuck in low middle income economy below Libya and Gabon. Stresses country not ranked among heavily indebted poor countries. Dan Data, Northern Governors Forum delegation, Atiku Zulum orders pay condolence visit to family in Kanu. Tinubu to military. We mustn't mortgage Nigeria's future to division indifference. Describes country's security challenges as existential. Gives military marching order to confront defeat those undermining Nigeria. Reiterates commitment to welfare of armed forces operational capacity. Lastly, right here on this day, Senate awaits certified judgment copy before actions on Natasha Ujoatumba's suspension. Daily Times. 85% Nigerians have no trust in Tinubu's government, says API report. FG offers relief for foreigners with expired visa. Recover local governments hijacked by governors. Group charges Nigerians. Tinubu tax military on response to insecurity. Constitution review must address injustice to Southeast, says Senator Ume. You can't enforce perceived order, Senate tells Udoaha. Wike to coalition. No come back to desperate power grabbers. Moving over to Nigerian Tribune. I am going to contest for president in 2027, says Peter Obi. Wants enough to trust him. Dismisses VP slot deal with Atiku. Justifies romance with ADC. Killings. Tinubu orders military to crush terrorists, bandits. 39 die in Kano, Lagos, Ogun crashes. We are yet to receive CTC of judgment on Natasha, says Senate. Kogi lawmaker vows to resume tomorrow. ADC plots to test coalition's strength with Lagos LG poll. Hold stock with PDP LP candidates. Again, Wike berates coalition leaders, accuses them of seeking power for personal interests. Northeast stakeholders hold pre-summit deliberations ahead of the Patriots confab. Moving over to Vanguard. ADC begins takeover of PDP structures in northern states. PDP calls defectors to ADC good riddance. I am loyal to APC, says Zulum. Dismisses defection rumor. Why Obi is still committed to LP, attributed to source. Atiku El Rufai Obi's coalition is a fraud, APC scribe says. FG's reforms mere optics, not solutions, says ADC. You failed as interior minister, Wike tackles Aregbesola. I am still in LP, says Peter Obi. I am contesting for president, not VP, says Peter Obi. NIN verification portal frustrates banks, telcos as downtime persists. You can catch that right there, page 26 of the Vanguard. Moving over to the last one right here, the Matrix. 2027 opposition's coalition threatened. Obi officially declares presidential ambition, rejects running mate option. You want to rescue your stomach, not Nigerians. Wike mocks coalition leaders. Nimasa reaffirms commitment to strengthening Nigeria's shipbuilding repair capacity. Docks deep blue vessel at Niger Dock. Senate Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan heading for showdown. I will resume tomorrow, says Natasha. Senate we can't act on her suspension until court's judgment is received. BRICS Summit. Tinubu calls for re-evaluation of global governance structure orders. After Wike's expose, Sirap urges Tinubu to release NDDC audit report, prosecute offenders.
Intimidation in voting pools, in polling booths, and all the rest. Let the masses come out and vote. Because when you are complaining that a political party is not ruling very well, when you are complaining that the economy is not moving very well, when you are complaining that governance has gone down, everything has drifted down the precipice.
Let me jump in now. Nigerian News Direct 2027.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have a quick commercial break now. When the monitor returns, we'll continue this analysis in just moments. Stay with us. Still the Afia Monitor. Of course, we're still here with Barrister Ujoatumba assessing headlines. Beginning with, continuing with Nigerian News Direct, 2027 Coalition of Hunger, Not Rescue. Wike is blasting Obi, Atiku, and other coalition members. On this day, you're also seeing, 2027 presidency in panic mode, ADC coalition alleges. Judging by the body language of the presidency, do you think that they are in panic mode, judging by the jabs Wike is throwing at the party, judging by the language of President Tinubu calling them political IDPs? Do you think that this government is actually in panic mode? Let's gain your thoughts.
I really support the notion that this government is jittering. You see this current government right now, they are jittering. They are really knowing that something is going to happen in 2027. Let me tell you something. When there was a coalition in 2015, Jonathan was calm. You understand? He wasn't throwing jabs with them because he was actually working. You understand? He feels that he has done a lot that will give people convince Nigerians to vote for him. But when you have not done anything, what will you do? You start throwing tantrums, okay? You start engaging people who are forming the coalition. You can see how Wike is, attacking their person, not attacking the politics, not attacking the need for this coalition, not attacking actually what led. Let's ask ourselves this question. If the coalition that we formed in 2015, which ushered in APC, if it is a success, why are we forming a coalition 8 years after? Why are we forming another coalition 8 years after? If those who came together to form the 2015 coalition, if they were there to grab power and to develop Nigeria, let's also give these people the opportunity. Let them do something. Let's see what they can do. If you say they are hungry, which means that APC was hungry, okay, when they grabbed power from PDP in 2015. What is good for the goose is also good for the gander. If the masses are not complaining, if things are okay, if there's nothing like fuel hike, okay, look, let me tell you, the hunger that is on the street of this nation is palpable. Is palpable. You can feel it. There are families that go to sleep some days without eating anything, without having anything to eat. And someone is saying, have you seen, look, the devaluation of Naira has really hurt our economy. To the extent that you can even have 5,000 Naira and still you don't know what to do with it.
All right, while we still contend with the hardship, Daily Trust, Obi insists on 2027 contest as Atiku hints at running. Obi has made it clear in an interview on another station that he would not be Atiku's running mate. So I'm trying to understand how two very reputable politicians, if we can say that, are within the same coalition, running, both with intentions of running for presidency. How is that going to work without crippling the African Democratic Congress in 2027? Do you see this becoming some kind of... Help us understand how this works. Yes, we know that Peter Obi is still part of the Labour Party. He made it clear. But it's also part of the coalition. with someone else that wants to run for president.
Yes.
How does that work?
I think they have a strategy here. Okay, they have a strategy because I've really sat down and I've thought long and hard about it. If Atiku is not campaigning, if Atiku is not on the list, it will whittle down his power. Atiku needs to be on the list. But we are expecting a situation whereby he will step down for Peter Obi, not even as his VP, step down for Peter Obi, probably lift his hand up, because he needs to be on and running to garner the votes from the North. If Kwankwaso goes to be the VP for Atinubu, then we need a strong man in the North for AGC. And Atiku and El Rufai will fill that.
Do you see Atiku agreeing
yes.
to that?
Let me tell you one thing. Atiku is about to sort of actualize his long political ambition. And how can he do that? He can only do that by ensuring that Obi have already promised the coalition that I can do just one term. And if he gets in there, he's a man of his words. He will do just one term. And guess what? Would that not be a political opportunity for Atiku?
Are you considering Atiku's age?
Yes.
What about his age?
Atiku is still politically viable.
Yeah.
He's working with his real age. He's not working with his fake age. Those who have problem with it, those who are saying that they are 71, but meanwhile on record they are 91. That's the people we are having problem with. Atiku is still exercising. Atiku is still strong. Atiku still loves this country. Atiku still feels that he has what it takes to offer Nigeria something better than what they have now. Okay. Let me tell you, if you remove Obi in this political picture, I will support Atiku with the last blood in my vein. Yes.
That's a strong declaration.
In the political atmosphere now, Atiku is the best. Minus Obi, Atiku is the best. Minus Obi, Atiku will win.
I want to raise an end, right? Let's play devil's advocates here. What if after the 4 years and everything went all well and fine, Obi as a president and all that, and people start clamoring he should complete his 8?
He should complete his 8.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
what he has done.
Let me tell you one thing. You remember what happened between Goodluck Jonathan when Yaradua died? Okay, Goodluck Jonathan entered into a pact with the North that he would do that remaining 4 years. After he wanted to go for another 4 years, what happened? That was why Atiku pulled away from PDP with 5 governors, and that was the citadel of what? Of APC, Tinubu from the west, from the south. Yeah. So I don't think Obi would want that to happen. Instead, let the North do their own 8 years and let Obi finish his own 4 years and hand over to another northerner to do his own another 4 years. So that political structure should not be altered. If Atiku, insists to contest as the AGC presidential flag bearer in 2027, then he's an agent of Tinubu.
I want to bring this into your thoughts too, because there was a question that was very silent. They asked Obi during the interview yesterday, do you think the North trusts you?
This is a coalition, okay? This is a coalition. Now, even if you don't trust somebody directly, you can trust the force of the coalition. You can trust other members of the coalition who are sitting on the same table with the person you don't even trust very well. You understand? What if the ticket of AGC comes out to be Obi and El Rufai? Some Easterners don't trust El Rufai. They don't trust him. They say that he's a religious person. You understand? That a whole lot he has made some utterances that do you know one of the most important, one of the dangerous issues haunting El Rufai is the not ticket. You understand? Because he was one of those that backed it up, and even when they got it, he came out and made some statement that the Christians could not even do anything. That cannot do anything. And politicians should watch their political statement, more especially when they're in power. You understand? They should watch it. Now, people are looking at a political structure that will see Obi and El Rufai. It's a tentative political structure where Obi and El Rufai, you understand, will become will run as the presidential flag bearer for AGC. Yeah. Now look at that. What do you think about that? What do you really think about that? So if you don't trust somebody directly, you can trust the structure that puts him into power. You can trust other people there. You can trust the agreement. I may not trust you, but me and you can agree to let something happen. All the people that came together to form APC, they didn't trust each other, but they had a coalition, they had a party, and they had a working agreement, which they have been keeping, because it was supposed to be after Muhammad Buhari, okay? They said that the next person, that was why our president had the temerity and the guts to say, it is what? It is my turn. There was an agreement. It was written. And that was why he got all the support he got from the north, because all those governors knew exactly that we have agreed, head or tail, no matter what happened after Buhari, it is what? It is Tinubu. So that's the structure. That's the coalition. They have to agree and abide by that agreement at the end of the day.
Okay, still projecting stuff, right?
Okay.
With all these big wigs and their lifestyle and their political antecedents, right?
Yes.
Surrounding Obi, let's say that Obi becomes the president of Nigeria. Would these individuals, we heard about when Buhari was in power, the clan, the gang,
Yes,
the people who calling the shots, not him literally, right? As we heard, right? As alleged. Do you think that these men would allow Obi seamlessly rule Nigeria without interfering here or there?
Yes, that question has been going around for quite a long time now, in this form that P2B, you understand, his will he not clash with the will of other politicians that he is trying to form this coalition with? And let me address that question. Obi has an impeccable, tested and trusted character. And why I think ADC should build their presidential ambition around him is because when you get it right from the head, okay? When you get it right from the head, okay, it becomes a political character. Every minister, every appointee, ambassadors, they will all flow with that character that's established from the head. Let me tell you why we're suffering now. It's because our president, he is not trustworthy. I'm sorry to say that, okay? I have my own opinion. The drug case, the age falsification, all those things surrounding him, you understand? It doesn't give him that political will and clout to put his feet down on the ground, you understand? To ensure that corruption is wiped out of this country. Yes, he can do it. He lacks the temerity because he has corruption issues. He has drug issue cases which have not been cleared up till now. We don't even know who our president is. You understand? So when we get someone who is right there, and in this instance now, where Nigerians are clamoring for a president or a leader who will lift them up from, a place where they have been for quite a long time, I don't think those people will be a kind of a clog in the will of Obi to achieve his political...
Let me jump in now, shifting away from politics to the matrix. And this is the major story. We've seen the Senate and Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan heading for a showdown. Natasha is saying that she would resume the Senate tomorrow being Tuesday, whereas the Senate is saying that they would not reinstate her until they receive the original true copy of the court judgment that has basically told her to resume her legislative duties. What do you make of this development in Senator Natasha's case?
It's really, really, I was even thinking that probably by now, they will have dropped their guard and leave this bickering and see how they can focus on burning issues concerning the country. But be that as it may, this is how democracy is developed. I don't think the certified true copy of the judgment is necessary before she will resume duties. But I understand also that the Senate wants to get the certified true copy so that they will know exactly what the courts actually ruled. Because one thing is your lawyer telling you this is what the court said, and another thing is that the certified true copy of the judgment saying an entirely different thing. So I understand, but what is she coming to do? I don't think that they can use their inability to procure the certified true copy of the judgment, stopping her from resuming duty. This is a senator that represents a constituency. This is a senator, you understand, that has a whole. Do you know the damage they have done to her constituency? Because she have not been able to participate all this while. She have not been able to carry the will, the aspiration, and the wishes of the people to Senate, you understand, to represent them and to give them that representative that they require. So I think the high time they reinstate her and deal with the issue of certified true copy of judgment, later. The better for Nigeria and for the constituency that she represents.
But the angle we're coming from is that she wants to resume tomorrow.
Yes.
And the Senate is saying that they're not going to do that until they receive the certified true copy. What would be your legal advice at this point in time? That's on one side. On the second side, what do you suppose the atmosphere in the Senate would be like upon Senator Natasha's resumption?
The Senate has a leadership, okay? I will advise Natasha to abide by the leadership of the Senate. Because the Senate rules are bound on senators. They're not bound on any other. Once you're a senator, you are supposed to respect those principles and those rules. One of them is that you cannot have any other seat apart from the seat allocated to you by the senior president. And listen, it is from that seat, okay, that you project and you make declarations, you move motion, you do every other thing. So let her abide by it. Let her, if the Senate say you can't resume, she has lawyers, let them see how they can dialogue. I'm not envisaging a situation where she will now walk majestically and try to, force herself into the Senate plenary. It will not look good for Nigerian democracy. Let her see a way of working things out with the Senate leaders, and if they need to have a copy of the certified true copy of the judgment before she does that, let them have it. Such a way that the Nigerian Senate will not be embarrassed. Such a way that will not witness the kind of situation that we witnessed the other time. I think peace and serenity is also one of the fundamental principles that are good. For people who are making laws, they should also know how to obey laws. So that's my take on that. I wouldn't expect Natasha to be buzzy or to be disrespectful to the Senate rules and how they have said that they're going to do things. She also has friends there. Let her lobby. Let her wait for them to get. She has been away for a while. Her resuming duty tomorrow will not make much difference as long as she is following the rules of the Senate. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, sorry, we have to track back a bit. It was a silent question I wanted to ask you regarding security, because as yesterday, Peter Obi said something very silent, that he's going to declare war on insecurity if he becomes the president of Nigeria. But because of the question I asked you, would all these men surrounding him allow him rule seamlessly? Because we know that the insecurity we are experiencing in the country, where they are coming from, like the huge part of it, right? The region, we know the and all that, right? So, but now my question is that some people also in this coalition defended these people, these bandits, these terrorists one time. That's even at a point they were said that they are killing their people and all that, right? So if Peter Obi should declare war on insecurity, won't he face this backlash and pull back again from some of these men surrounding him in this coalition? Think about it.
I know exactly the scenario you have painted here, but if someone have committed a crime and Mr. President is trying to put machineries in motion to prosecute that person, what do you have to say about that? Will you say that he's not doing the right thing? Let me tell you, the politics that we're playing with insecurity needs to come to an end with a president, you understand, that is competent and compassionate about Nigeria. The rots in the military, the alleged rots in the military, you understand, they really, really need someone who can match up to them. The other time in 2023, when he was asked what he's going to do, the strategy that he will use to purge banditry, Boko Haram, and all this stuff. Do you know what he said? He said, I will not divulge it in the public. Yeah. And he can bring in foreigners. Yes, he can form an alliance with other foreign countries, you understand, to fight Boko Haram, to fight all this insurgency, you understand? And that's a whole lot of work, because there are IDP camps scattered all over the Northeast, you understand? So many IDP camps. People have been pursued from their homeland. They have been, as in bandits and terrorists are occupying their father's land, cooking with their pots and everything, eating there, while they're in IDP camp. So I don't think it will be a walk in the park, because it's endemic. It has really stayed for a very long time. And the communities have a way of harboring them. When you try to hit hard on them, you understand, they will blend with the miasma. You won't know who they are. They will blend with the community where you are fighting. So it's a work that requires intelligence. It's a work that requires a total overhauling of the military, and it's a work that requires partnership with other neighboring countries in that region. I think Obi will achieve it if he does the right thing. Okay, if he goes out, on a what do you call it? If the military can just go out and start shooting sporadically, but if you work with intelligence, you can know the area where they are, and you can pick them up. You understand, and prosecute them. We want to see. We want to see bandits, being prosecuted. You understand? In tens, in hundreds. You can't see them people. They will shoot and they will kill communities. We can't see that one has been arrested or one has been prosecuted. That's what we want to see. And I believe that with the kind of competency and compassion that Mr. Obi, that drive Peter Obi, if by God's grace he gets to that position, he will use his position as the president. And the number one, yes, to arrest this issue, or rather, push it back to a minimum level. He may not wipe it out totally in 4 years, but he will push it back to a minimum level, whereby you can stay for 6 months and you cannot hear big banditry activities. I believe that he can do that. And let me tell you one thing. If he doesn't do it, these same people you are saying that will fight him, they will still use his inability to fight insecurity to also attack him. So he has to fight insecurity and wipe them out. That's the only option that he has. Fighting insecurity in Nigeria is a big political move. Anyone who does that, we could remember when there's nothing like Boko Haram, there was nothing like banditry. When Obasanjo started, we had problems like power, we had problems like education. There were so many things that Nigeria had to fight with. But insecurity coming into it right now, it has really, really been a thorn in the flesh of the Nigerian government. And we need a president who can fight it decisively with intelligence, not just on the pages of newspaper. Yeah.
All right, let's look at this last headline on Daily Times. 83% Nigerians have no trust in Tinubu's government. We're seeing a survey that by API that has revealed that 53% of Nigerians have no trust, while the remaining 30%, so let me just get the exact figures to be
83.
extra sure. No, it's broken down. So we have 83% of Nigerians, little or no trust. We'll get the exact figures. Okay, 53% said they have no trust at all in the Tinubu government, while 30% admitted to having little trust. So there, it's still on the lower margins of the trust scale.
Yeah.
They have little or no trust in President Tinubu, as well as the NAS Senate as well. So I want to know your
And judiciary.
and the judiciary as well.
Are you trying to spread
You are
them?
among them, right?
I don't know why you're hitting your institution.
You only have to. That's what makes you a great analyst.
Yeah.
So can you tell us your reaction to this? Shall we call them shocking, or are they not so shocking statistics?
I know that I know that presidential aid, they will come out and counter these and try to paint a better picture for APC. But the truth still remains that he who pays the piper dictates the tune at the end of the day. So we are not worried about all those analyses. Now let me tell you something. Trust cannot be forced. Trust is reality. If I say I don't trust you, it's not just because I don't like your face, I don't like the way you speak English language. It's because you failed in certain areas where we expected you to, make an achievement. How can a man enter into power? That face, they say, subsidy gone. Do you know the effect of that statement? No. If you had conducted a public poll, if you have conducted, you will see that the popularity of Tinubu, starting from the time he became the president of this country, is nosediving. Why? You will use 6 items to do political campaign, and at the end of the day, you have not achieved anything. So, what will make the survey to give him a score point or a high score point? Where are his political the promises that he used to do campaign? He's not meeting any one of them. He is not meeting any one of them. A man who say, if I don't stabilize power, 6 months into my office, don't vote me again. So these are the indices. These are the KPI. These are the key performance indicators. These are the things that is informing the survey. Because you're not meeting your political campaign promises, and you are also making life very, very difficult for people. So I think that survey is very, very correct. You understand? A whole lot of people have lost trust. Not just, if I could say this, not just in APC, but in politicians. Yes, politicians. Nigerians are losing faith every day because they will make one promise and they will not fulfill it at the end of the day. And if that allows me to talk a little bit on the amount of money that 10 governors in Nigeria have actually borrowed. It's domestic borrowing, and Enugu State's own is very, very high. But why I'm not bothered?
That's on the Punch. 10 states borrow 470 billion.
Why I'm not bothered
higher allocations.
is because when you come to Enugu State, you can see where those money are actually going in, you understand? Because that's the way they cripple the economy of a state. Because these are domestic borrowing. They'll borrow from bank, borrow. By the time they will leave office, the next coming governor will see that the coffers of the state is empty. There's no money there. This is also one of the things that lowers the trust of people on government. Because they'll borrow billions, and at the end of it, you find out that those money find a way of going back into their own pocket. But they use state apparatus and everything to borrow the money. State was supposed to be developed. Injustice was supposed to be built. Jobs are supposed to be created. And unemployment is supposed to be pushed back. Medicare, you reduce it to its lowest, ebb, so that even people who are poor can get some, healthcare, all those healthcare something. So when you borrow money, let that money be put in the right place so that people can see what you are using that money to do. Government is all about legacy. What are you leaving behind? What are you leaving behind? Are you leaving debt behind, or are you leaving development behind? That's the question. So I think that survey, to a large extent, depicts but the feeling of the masses. It depicts the opinion of the masses in this current administration, because a lot has actually gone wrong, and we're not seeing signs that yes, all those economic and developmental policies are really picking up fire. Like, you can't really say in the next 6 months something will be better. All of a sudden, fuel started adding money. You understand? So people survey. They say vox populi, vox dei. People's survey should be respected because that is the voice of the people.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Barrister Chidi, for making our time to be here with us today.
Thanks
we'll
a
see
lot.
how matters continue to develop. Many headlines today, lots of tongues are wagging.
And how tongues will be wagging.
Yeah, and also on the show today, lots of tongues will be wagging. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks for having me.
Very much.
And I wish you guys a very great week
And
ahead.
you as well. Well,
Yeah.
of course, you're part of that week, so let's not make it look like it's so far.
Is that all good?
That's so far away.
All right.
All right, the morning show returns in just seconds. We delve into regional stories in just minutes. Stay tuned.